What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast No Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk a little bit more about Dragon Ball Sparking Zero's sales. And at least in the US, we know that the game has done phenomenally well. I think it's done well across the entire world. But, kind of the headline words being used for this game right now is actually outstanding. So, Sparking Zero is one of the best-selling Bandai Namco games ever. It depends on which article you're reading, but that's kind of, the main thing that's going on. So, basically, in the US, it is the best-selling Dragon Ball game that's ever come out, which I thought was actually kind of wild, and that's only off of, I believe, the first month. I think that was only tracking through the end of October. So you're not even counting November. You're not even counting December. Those data points you're going to get eventually, but you don't even need them because, just in the U.S. And, there's a little something to be said about that, right? In fact, when I first saw the articles, and actually just in general, right, I do believe because where they're getting it off of is Circana, right, which is the kind of the aggregate site that just kind of tracks all of this stuff, and they're extremely good. But in terms of the charts and in terms of who actually said this in the first place, he is talking about US. Now, it's across all consoles, it's across physical and digital, so it's not like it's just the highest selling digital Dragon Ball game of all time in the US. It is the best selling just in general. So in terms of kind of one other metric that gets thrown out there, it's actually number 3 all time. Besides, I believe Dark Souls 3 is number 2, and then number 1 is Elden Ring. Just from Bandai Namco. So unbelievable in the U.S. that Dragon Ball not only in 1 month became the highest selling Dragon Ball game ever, but it also beat any of their other titles, which is a lot of the FromSoft games too. Right? Like 2 of them make the top 2, but the rest of them are there, and you imagine actually the rest of them probably make up some sort of awesome top 10 list, right? But for this game to be number 3. That is unreal. And now, again, it's not the entire world, and it's not necessarily the best, because I was actually waiting, and I think we will eventually get it at some point, an article or a headline or whatever that says, yes, this is the highest selling anime game of all time. Remember, I think it needs to do, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I think somewhere around like the 14, 15 million mark is Naruto, and that was like the highest one. So, I think Dragon Ball maybe was like 10, 11, 12. So it's really got to beat probably 15 million in order to be the highest selling anime game of all time. Now, I don't know, like, does the U.S. carry? The U.S. can carry some franchises and can carry some games, but to get this game to get to, say, 15 million, like, where do the numbers come from, right? Like, what has to really crush it? I guess the U.S. is doing its part, so you really don't have any complaints there, right? But I do wonder, and I do, I'm an optimistic kind of guy, so I do imagine that we're eventually going to see that article eventually from somebody. And actually, it should probably be officially from them. That's even the thing with this, right? I know it's kind of a specific headline, right? Like, it's the highest selling Dragon Ball game in the U.S. I feel like Bandai Namco, though, could tweet that or could, like, make a big deal out of it, because I think it's quite a big deal myself personally. Maybe they don't so much, but just wanted to highlight that. I know there's been a variety of opinions on the game, and I think last we talked about it was kind of the stories of, okay, well, it's lost so many players, right? The player base has shrunk. I think that's kind of mostly what this game is a game that is going to shrink in player base, and hopefully can kind of come back and forth, when DLC characters come out in 2025. But, for what it's worth, I think the game is actually extremely good. It's maybe not the best anime game or even the best Dragon Ball game, but it's a lot of the things I want it to be, and I'm glad to see it being, shown that love, basically. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.